Guys, we are almost at the end of October 2020. I'm filming this on Monday the 26th. It'll be going out next week. So the first week of November is when you're seeing this, and October will be over. So we're doing a quick little flip through in my 2020 Makse Life Horizontal, the planner that I've been using pretty consistently, basically 100% of the time this year. So I'm going to show you my monthly, my weeklies. We talk about the goal stuff, as you know, in a different video, but I have done a few things differently in my monthly and my weekly, so why I wanted to show you the updates to those and make this video as, succinct as we can. Okay, so here we go with the monthly. This month, unlike other months, I did not put any client, I didn't do it last month either, just kidding. Usually in the past, I had put down my client appointments. Since I am using, and I said this in my previous video too, I've been using Google Calendar and the iCalendar integration so much to keep all of my appointments straight between client coaching appointments and my meetings that I have for the remote company I work for. Trying to keep all that straight in a paper monthly just doesn't make sense. It's easier for me to see everything on my Google Calendar and have all my Zoom links in each of those appointments. So I haven't been doing that on here. I do like usually at least having my coaching client ones on here because from reference it makes sure that I'm seeing when we had the appointments, but obviously it didn't matter last year and last month and I didn't do it. So how did I use my monthly this month? So this month what I did was we got our goats the end of September. So we are doing rotational grazing with our goats and our chickens. So I started off with using the month labels to put down when we rotated them to a new paddock, new little area to graze. I originally was using this from the color coded standpoint of the physical environment is light gray, and then I ran out of the month labels. So I just started using the blue ones because at this point in the year with stickers, I'm just like, I don't care. I'm just going to use up what I have, even if it doesn't look right or doesn't make sense. I hate printing out, making Matt print out new stickers just for me. When I know, honestly, I just should though, because it's not like Makse Life colors change for the next year. So I should have just had him print out another set of these for me so I could keep this color coordinating thing going because it kind of looks like a hodgepodge. But again, we're at the end of October and I start to kind of just not care as much about my planner looking pretty. Okay, so rotating the animals, I have that in there. The other thing I did was I used teardrops. I have to turn my compost pile every other day. So I put those in there. There was a few days I missed, so I had to move the next one over. So that worked. Thank God we have repositionable stickers and you can move them once or twice without too much damage to the sticker and it'll sit back down. So that worked out okay. And that's just reminding me to turn the compost. So essentially what I've been doing is I have the every other day schedule on here. And then when I'm setting up my week, I've been going in, which I need to do, and I'll put down on my weekly view when to turn the compost. So I don't remember because I don't always flip back to my monthly, but when I'm planning that week ahead, when I'm looking to build out my weekly spread, I will refer to this as I'm doing that planning session, if that makes sense. So I did that. I did use our little YouTube icon versus our little camera to write down my topic for each day or each week's planner video. I didn't have an idea at that point when I was doing that. That's today, but I did film the video for that. So I do like that. I'm not sure if I like the video icon better than this, than the YouTube icon. I'm not really sure. I don't know. I don't have an opinion. Which one do you guys like better? There's part of me that likes how tiny this little icon is, the camera, versus the YouTube icon, but I think I would have rather gone with one color versus having a rainbow situation here. And when I first used my monthly for October this month, I had nothing else on here but the content, the videos, and I kind of thought I wasn't going to really use my monthly that much. I'm like, I'm just going to use whatever color so it has more color to it. But now looking at this, I probably should have kept the content all one color. I don't know. My monthly is always a hot mess. Anyways, and I just used the mild liner to highlight it. What else is on here? Our doggies' birthdays are on here with a label under the color of relationships. So I have that on there. What else? I had to have 2 haircuts this month, guys. So my hair was super, super long. And finally, after not getting it cut for 10 months, I went and got a haircut. You know, we live in a new area. I didn't know the stylist, got some recommendations, didn't, and I had a lot cut off. So I was like super excited / scared. Did not like the way she cut it at all. So I had to do some research and found somebody else and literally had to go get another haircut the next week. Liked that I layered it with the little haircut scissor thing. I probably should have used the mini icon instead of the full-size one, but I used that for my double haircut, and that's pretty much it. The other thing I did was I took our flags that have the goal category on them and put them in the note section here, and just kind of wanted to create a to-do list based on things that were more relative to the month that I wanted to get done in those 2 areas. Because like physical environment, which bleeds into fun, which bleeds into personal for me, is really all about our homestead. And these are things I wanted to make sure I kept on a routine: rotating the animals, turning the compost. Work and learning is the other huge section of my life, or category of my life. And there was just some tasks I wanted to get done. And kind of just, this was almost like a brain dump of things I wanted to get done. I don't know if this really worked for me or not. I do like the way it looks, and I like this use here. And this was different in a way than the monthly goals, because while they were goals, right, like things I wanted to get done, and they are related to my bigger goal, sometimes I feel like things just I get too overwhelmed looking at this goals pages, and I tend to use these pages to put down my, like almost like a dashboard, like the things I do every single month in each category. Does that make sense? Yeah, they're like my checklist, like my monthly dashboard checklist. And these are the things that I wanted to highlight that were like, okay, here's a few things you wanted to keep at the top of mind, things to get done. I don't know. It's probably redundant, and I don't know if it's effective. So I'll have to check back in with you guys next month if I do it again and see if it's helpful. That's probably the longest explanation of my monthly view I've ever given you guys on one of these videos. And there's really not that much going on. I think the moral of the story with this spread is I do like having something to note some of these routine tasks like that are related to my homestead, like rotating the animals, turning the compost. I think I want to color coordinate this a bit better. Oh, I also have a sticker on here, write a new program. That was our fitness program. I think I like having my monthly view have all my things, like my homestead stuff, my content stuff, birthdays, stuff like that. So the what's on here works. I just think design-wise I need to tweak it because it kind of looks like a hodgepodge. Okay, we're moving on. All right, so again, we're not doing weekly action steps. We're just going through spreads. And these were actually, every week was quite different in the way I did. The structure's the same, but just the stickers that I used and stuff like that are going to be a little different. I try to play around with it so I don't get bored, since I am really routined in how I use and structure these pages. So this was the first week. As usual, I have my divider strips. And this particular week, what I did was I used our to-do flags or our header flags and just layered that over the divider strip. And we kind of used like a rainbow situation here. And then I used our outline check boxes strips, and I put some work-related to-dos. And then here on the left, as usual, I have time-based things with a little mini zoom icon. So I have that, and then I used our double arrows here for my daily highlight. I actually did like using those, and I didn't have a purple one, so I didn't even write a highlight. When I run out of stickers in the colors I want, if you watch my last video, I hate bothering Matt to print me out stickers, but then and I also feel wasteful, but I need to because this looks stupid, like I'm missing the purple one, and then it made me not even write the highlight. So I did my daily highlight 3 days, and then didn't do it this day and didn't have a sticker, and then I didn't do it the rest of the days. I was really hit or miss with that habit. Talk about that more in another goal video. I do like how I did my personal or my home section here. I took a blank label, month label, header, whatever you want to call it, and layered it with the little house icon, and then drew a box around it in the black pen with the mile liner. So I do like that. And then I just did hand stenciled. I have a stencil, so boxes, and did that. So let's see what else. And then on the weekend, I don't open my planner, so you can see what happens here is I basically don't even use it. So here's the problem I have is I hate leaving these 2 days blank because it doesn't look as balanced, and it looks like I just forgot to do anything like aesthetically to the pages. But then when I do put a bunch of stickers down, I like don't even use that. I don't even look at my planner the whole entire weekend. So like it gets wasted. These stickers are totally wasted. So maybe I just need to embrace the fact that I don't use my planner on the weekends and just leave it blank and let it be. I started off this month with going like, I'm fed up with habit tracking. I'm not working on any new habits. So I didn't put anything here. And I really didn't use my notes section. So my planning was a bit odd this month. You'll see as we go through this. I really do like our outline checkbox strips, but you'll often see like what I do here is I end up getting a little frustrated because I end up having more to-dos than the strip allows. So then I just like feel like that looks weird, or I have less and then I feel like it's wasted. So I do tend to prefer the individual check boxes and dots to the strips, but the strips are nice and convenient. So that was week 1. All right, week 2, I actually really like how this looks. Pretend the weekend's not there. This is the Inkwell Press 2021 palette in Buenos Aires. And I don't even like pink, but this corally pink and these colors, I love this. So I played around with using the Inkwell colors in the Makse, and so far the Buenos Aires palette looks fantastic. I'm gonna test out a few others, but I really like how this looks. So I did the divider strips in there. I did just the classic headers here that say work. And then I took blank headers, and that's where I tracked the numbers of hours I worked each day. Some days, looks like I didn't write it down. That doesn't really matter because we use an app for it, but I just like how it looks aesthetically. And then I used the to-do headers and drew a box around it, sometimes using a marker. Clearly I forgot to do that one there. I didn't use really any mini icons. I used our new 2-tone dots that we have and did work to-do lists. And then on the weekend, I did have some to-do list stuff going there. But again, I don't really use my planner on the weekend. So I may have done this after the fact even. And then again, you can see I was like anti-habit tracker. So didn't use that. So that was week 2. Week 3, I used that palette again, but you can see a few things are different. I did not do the box around here. I just wrote in the times. This is essentially the same. The add-on that I had here was the daily highlight I wrote, and I literally highlighted it with a mild liner highlighter. I did that for 4 out of the 7 days, so not too bad. The difference here between these two also is I used the hexagons for the checklist, and instead of just leaving this to just hand, check marks, I did use the 2-tone dots to make my list within the like right-hand column, which is personal to-dos. So you can see that. And then the weekend was just like write stuff down and no stickering, just did the things. I do actually kind of like how this looks down here. I was like, okay, maybe I'll use the note section now as a this week, like things I need to get done this week that aren't specific to a certain day yet. So that worked pretty well. And then I took, because I just had these left, sometimes I like to see how I can use stickers on a sheet to try to totally empty a whole sheet, so I'll just use it and find ways to use it. So I had a few of these left, these blank headers. So I covered this up and wrote daily habits, and then I put the days of the week here and covered that up. So like kind of it had the same feel. The only problem here is again, Saturday and Sunday. I guess I only need a planner that's Monday through Friday. So we're on week 3. Week 4, which was last week, is totally different again. So you have a totally new vibe here. Try something different. One little Zoom icon, and then just wrote down the meetings, and then used our work box to write, our outlined box with highlight, I think it's called, to write down how many hours I worked that day. Again, you can see I'm not always consistent with putting that down. Then instead of using headers, I used the big laptop or the regular laptop icon and stenciled a box around it. And did like a drop shadow with my mild liner, and that was kind of like my work to-do list, and then used our dots for the checklist, and then for the home side used the little mini home icon, and as usual made a box around it and just did some hand-drawn little circles to be the check boxes, and then didn't use my planner at all over the weekend. Over here I did get back into a routine with a habit tracker. Again, these habits are like automated. I do them every day, like regardless, and as I just like checking things off. So I went back to doing that. Do I need to? Probably not. I'm sucking at doing my daily highlight, but it is what it is. It's not stressing me out. I did again use this note section as a weekly to-do list. That's working okay for me. And then we get to this week. So if you saw last week's video, you saw this in the state that it's in right now as I'm filming this. And I have a new-ish take on some of this. So I used one Zoom icon and then did a box with mild liner highlighter around it and just wrote in the appointments. The goal was to be a little festive here with Halloween with orange and purple, which I think was inspired by, I think I saw Amanda's Favorites do it. And then we have the highlight header, which at this time when I'm filming this, I haven't asked Matt yet to print out more for me, but this will be purple, orange, purple, orange. And then using this section to do, excuse me, home related tasks. And I wanted to use mini icons just because I have them and I don't use them that often anymore. So I'm using those. At this point, again, I'm filming this on the 26th, still using the note section for like weekly to-dos that don't have a day designated to them. And then kind of back in the habit tracker, only tracking things that are new-ish, more just like tasks I need to remember, giving our goats their herbals, turning my compost, watering grass because we lay down grass seed, and my AM routine. So thinking, okay, maybe I'll just use this for things that are not routine right now. And then I drew little circles for the ones that are not happening every day. So that way it's like these tasks are only happening 3 times a week. So I don't need to have them checked off every day. This kind of using this in the same vein as our double cut habit hexagons in the Inkwell Press. So that's kind of what that is. So that is October. This is a kind of long flip through video, but you can see I really did kind of have pretty different layouts each week. If the structure and the setup is the same, right? Like appointments on the one side, to-dos in the middle, personal to-dos on the right, not really using the weekend, hit or miss habit tracker, and then a this week list here. But you can see these look very different each week. So that was October 2020. I'm having a little bit of a planner struggle as we approach, we're not walking into 2021, as we approach 2021 because my needs are changing a bit. My last video last week, if you haven't watched it, I did play around with doing stuff in the vertical again. So watch that video if you haven't. I'm finding what I think I really need is I need to adopt kind of some of the getting things done principles with having like a master to-do list, kind of like that inbox concept, because there's a lot of things floating around in my brain, different things I need to do for the print shop, different things like that I need to have like a place where all of those to-dos live, which is why sometimes I really miss my disc planner where I can kind of customize that and have a section like that. So these planners are still working great for me, but things are changing in my life and I think my planners need to change and adjust a little bit. So I'm not going to get into that. That's like for a goal video, but I hope that was helpful, guys, and gave you some ideas on how to use different stickers, how to structure your horizontal, knowing it's okay to not use your habit tracker. It's okay to just leave blank spaces in your planner and play around and things like that. So I hope you guys had a good October. Went fast, but it was long at the same time. And I will see you guys in the next video.